A routine geology survey led me and my colleague Dana to map a previously sealed sinkhole in a remote corner of the Jefferson National Forest, a place the locals called Devil's Chimney. The entrance was a narrow fissure in a limestone bluff, barely 3 feet across, exhaling a constant plume of air so cold it formed mist even in August. The sound that came from that hole was not wind. It was a low, rhythmic exhalation, like something vast breathing in its sleep. We rappelled 70 feet into total darkness, our headlamps cutting the black in thin, inadequate beams. The shaft opened into a cathedral-like chamber, the ceiling soaring 50 feet above us, the walls covered in ancient petroglyphs. I'd seen native rock art before, but nothing like this. Spiral after spiral, stick figures with antlers and a recurring image carved with obsessive repetition. A tall, thin being with no eyes and a distended belly, its arms ending in clusters of writhing lines. Surrounding it, smaller figures lay prostrate, their stick bodies flattened as if crushed. The art wasn't painted. It was carved into the living rock with a precision that left the edges still razor-sharp after what later carbon dating would suggest was over 12,000 years. Dana's headlamp flickered, then mine. The temperature dropped further, and our exhales crystallized into clouds that drifted toward the far end of the chamber as if being inhaled. Then we heard it, a wet, dragging scrape, like a slug the size of a man pulling itself across stone. Our light steadied just long enough to see something emerge from a tunnel at the chamber's far end. It wasn't an animal. It was darkness, a solid, three-dimensional shadow that absorbed our headlamp beams entirely, leaving a space in the world where light simply ceased to exist. It had a vaguely humanoid outline, but its proportions were wrong in ways that made my eyes ache. Arms too long, bending at multiple elbows, ending in clusters of probing tendrils that moved with independent, searching motions. Where its face should have been, there was only a smooth, featureless dome that turned toward us with a horrible, unmistakable intelligence. It didn't walk, it flowed, ignoring gravity and friction, spreading across the cave floor like spilled oil. Dana was closer. The dark touched her boot, and I watched the leather turn grey, crack and crumble to dust in the space of a heartbeat. She screamed and grabbed for the rope, but the shadow rose like a tide and enveloped her legs. The sound that followed was not a scream. It was a dry, brittle crunching, like 1,000 insect carapaces breaking at once. Dana's torso rose out of the shadow for a moment, her arms still reaching for the rope, her mouth open. No sound came out. Her eyes had been replaced, not gouged, but replaced by 2 small, writhing spirals of that same crawling darkness. She smiled at me, a beatific, empty smile, and said in a voice that was not hers, "The hollow ones welcome you. There is so much room inside." I pulled my ascenders and hauled myself up the rope so fast the friction stripped the skin from my palms. The shadow followed, spreading up the walls in veins of liquid obsidian, pulsing with a rhythm that I now recognized, the same rhythm as the breathing from the fissure, the heartbeat of something vast and ancient sleeping beneath the mountain. As I neared the surface, I looked down one last time. The entire chamber was now a churning sea of that living darkness, and in its depths I saw faces. Hundreds of them, human faces, animal faces, faces that were neither, all of them smiling that same hollow, welcoming smile. Some of them I recognized from missing persons posters pinned to the ranger station bulletin board. I made it to the surface and collapsed the entrance with a slab of limestone I levered loose with my bare hands. The Park Service sealed it with concrete a week later, listing the site as a dangerous geological instability. They never found Dana's body. The official report said she fell into an unexplored shaft and was lost. I know better. Sometimes when I hike near that ridge, I feel a vibration under my feet, a slow, contented heartbeat. The thing beneath the mountain is still there, still breathing, still crawling through the deep dark, and it is still hungry.